Hello everyone, my name is Jerry Deer. I run the Skywalker Farms Facebook page and itch.io website. And today we're going to be looking at how to find Farming Simulator 22 mods. What are the best places to download from so that you can respect the modders' content and make sure you got the original link. So a couple things to note before we jump into the websites. Firstly, if you don't want to listen to this 20-25 minute video, however long it is, if you don't want to listen to all of it, but you want to still get the basic concept out of this, I'm going to put a link to a Google document in the description of this video, and it essentially covers a lot of what I'm going to talk about, but basically this video is an extended version of that Google document. So this is going to have an audio and a visual accompaniment, so you get bit more of an idea how to get around some of these websites. I won't go into depth too much about how to navigate these websites, but I will at least show each of them off. But if you want the quick and easy version, just go down to the description for that Google Doc link. Another thing I'm going to put in the description is chapters for each of the sites, so you can jump wherever you want in the video to find whatever site you need to. And I'm also going to have links to each of the sites down in the description. So without further ado, let's jump in. The very first site we're going to talk about is Farming Simulator ModHub. This site is run by Giant Software, the developers of Farming Simulator series, and simply put, this website hosts all of the mods that have passed through Giant's mod testing system and are being released here. Now, you also get a good guarantee that there won't be any problems with these mods. Very important thing to note though, that doesn't include mod conflicts. So if you have enough mods on here and you download, let's say, a script or a mod with a special function, it could break. So it's not a complete guarantee, but all of these mods have passed through with virtually no errors and warnings in the log or texture problems or anything. And a good number of them are for consoles. This is the only place you will find console mods. There's a crossplay tab at the top here. If it's not in this list, it is not for consoles. Another tab you'll find is the category tab right here. You can go through pretty much every single base game store category there is and find anything that might be in that category. Some categories might not have anything since they're just not as popular of a mod to create, but most of them should have at least something in them by now. This video is being made 7 months, 5.5 months after Farming Simulator 22 was released. Yep, pretty straightforward. You can also find prefabs if you're a modder, but that isn't really something you can do as a player. If it's a prefab, it's not going to work in the game because it's usually just a modding asset. Next site we're going to talk about is itch.io. Now, first glance, this is not going to look like a mod hosting website for Farming Simulator 22. And that is because itch.io hosts mods for all sorts of games. People can even upload their own game creations here. And so it's just a variety of different games and mods, indie games and stuff like that. But the Farming Simulator community has found a niche here, and myself included, along with a bunch of other people like AW Modding, Agrotron, Jono. So just a bunch of different people have their mods uploaded here. And the main thing when it comes to navigating this site is if you find one place, we're going to go to mine as an example because I put a lot here. But if you go down, I have all of my mods here, which you can click on the image to get to each of the mods and get a description with them. But at the bottom, I recommend other modders. So I have put one mod from each modder that I remember to put on here that are all do a good job with their mods. I trust that they're quality. And so they're all down here. And when you click on them, it leads you to other itch pages from other modders, and it just kind of blossoms from there. You can find so many other people and discover the community because there are a decent number of modders on itch.io. Next site is Facebook. I'm not going to get too much into this, but I'm just going to make sure you all are aware that Farming Simulator modding community has a decent presence on here. You can see that with my personal account, I've liked the page, and when you like the page, it'll actually show you related pages. So you can go through and see other people who might be posting Farming Simulator content. Wade Mitch Modding and Edits is a good example. Mighty Mike is actually a content creator. KCS Modding. Yeah, but basically Facebook is more of a community update type platform. You will find some links here, and usually the links lead to a third-party site such as itch.io, or maybe it's a Mega or a Mediafire upload site link. But this is basically your connection to some of the modders who don't have an external site. So, trying to think of an example. I can't. Most of the ones I know use itch.io, but there are Facebook people out there who mod, and they will post their links on Facebook, so it's exclusive to Facebook. You should be able to get into most areas around Facebook. The one exception to that rule might be that you can't get into a Facebook group, but I won't be going into too much depth about that. All I can say is that it requires a Facebook account, and honestly, that's not too hard to set up, but that's completely your choice. So after Facebook, we've got Argsy's map directory. This is a very cool little thing because it's essentially a Google map with pins to all known Farming Simulator mod maps in existence for Farming Simulator 22. No 19, no 17, it's just 22 right now. But basically, everywhere there is a map in Farming Simulator 22, it gets a Google Map dot location. And as long as the map is based, at least inspired by, if not completely based on a real life area, it will get its dot relatively close to that area. So let's go over here, Midwest area. This is Minneapolis, Minnesota in the United States. And right here we have North Dakota Hastings 16X. So it's based out of North Dakota, the dot's in North Dakota. And the little green symbol with the barn and the silo means that it was based off of a satellite image and a real-life terrain map. So that's completely based off a real area. We go to the star here, Green Valley, Nebraska 4X. This means that the map is inspired by a real area, but it is not completely based, so it doesn't use a satellite image or real terrain data. But it's very close to the area, hence it receives its point there. So this is a map by DJ Modding that is loosely based on Nebraska, so it has a very Nebraska feel. The red ones with the question mark, these are work in progress maps, ones that haven't been confirmed, but the modder has announced that they are at least making some progress. So do not expect any of these maps to come out, but just know that the modder may or may not release them at some point. Next site, Tyson Diniz Farms Farming Simulator Modding. So he releases some of his mods here, but a cool thing he does is he actually links other modders' mods to his site. He doesn't upload them here, but they will lead you to the site that they are uploaded at. So he did release this mower, he did release the notch, he did release the hay buster, but this 348 baler, for example, and this New Holland Square baler, this is by Rooster Mods. This is by 46 Mods. So he links other people's mods to his site, all completely with permission, and the people who have their mods uploaded here do a really good job with their mods. So you can ensure that you're getting quality mods when you come to these places. Another thing he has is a modder directory. He currently has 79 modders in here. All of these modders, he has basically gone to their site, been like, this modder does a good job, or they've got quality stuff. And then he will put their links to whatever they have on here. So for example, 46 Mods, he has a Facebook and he has a website, which is at the itch.io page. Scroll down, random. Julian F, he has a Facebook and he also has a website. Carl Farms, Facebook, he uploads to the official ModHub, and he also has a YouTube. So just different modders, and you can trust that a lot of them do a really good job. And you got links to all of them here. And I believe he does a pretty good job at keeping this updated. But if there's one on here, I mean, just let him know. I think you can contact him through Discord. Just make sure he knows, and more than likely he should be able to add it. Or if you know of a modder that could be on here that you don't see on here, let him know and he could add them depending on their legitimacy and whatnot. But yeah, that's the modder directory. There's a bit of a North American bias, I guess you could say. Like most of the modders on here are North American. But I mean, that's simply because Tyson and a lot of people on here, they do North American farming, so that's just it's just preference from gameplay style. I'll cover a couple European sites later in the video. SimplySafeMods, not a whole lot to talk about here, but basically a couple things you need to know about SimplySafe. First off, they hold a lot of respect for modders. I really appreciate what this site does. They make a great effort. The site owner, works with each modder who uploads here to make sure that the mod is legitimate, that they have the ability to post the mod, and that it's a relatively quality piece of work. And there are mods here for FS17, FS19, and FS22. Not a whole lot to talk about here, but just a really well done site. And I was gonna say something else, I can't remember now, but yeah, SimplySafeMods. GitHub. This is mainly for scripts. Couple things to note about this site is that there aren't a whole lot of scripts here, but the Discord server I will cover in a minute actually helps you navigate this site a little bit. But just a few things you need to know when you do find some of these GitHub links. Yes, they're safe. The main reason they use GitHub, while not specifically for FS22 mods, is because it allows the ability to report issues, pull requests, or take action on a script, because most of the ones uploaded here are scripts which require constant updates due to the fact that scripts, they take a little bit more than just a mod, because scripts have to work with the game code, not just what's already built in. It's not like an XML schema where it's very, very straightforward. So scripts require constant updates. That what makes GitHub so great for these modders. So if you want to download, this is SimplyIC right here. Just find the mod here that is a .zip. Click download button right here. And simple as that. Scripts are super quick to download most of the time because it's just words. There's no objects, there's no textures. Really simple download. Next up, we are going to go to that Discord server. Alrighty, so we are on the Farming Simulator Mods and Links Discord server. If you're unaware what Discord is, it's basically a social platform where you can create an account and hop in live text and voice chats with other people. It does require an account, but it's pretty straightforward to set up. And this Discord server contains a lot of links. So at its core purpose, this Discord server serves as a place for modders to come and post their links in any one of these channels. So there are channels for FS22 maps, vehicles, trailers, attachments. It goes on for a while, and there's also auto drive and courseplay down here at the bottom. This is what I was saying about GitHub. There's a couple GitHub links here that will actually redirect you back to GitHub. So especially since GitHub isn't completely dedicated to Farming Simulator, it's helpful to have these links. But when you get links here, you can guarantee that they are the original ones, because this Discord server has you prove that you are a modder and a legitimate one, and that all your work is respectful and not terrible. They have you go through a process before you actually get the modder role here on the side, which allows you to post in here. And so all of these links are, you can trust that they're good ones. So here's SimplySafe. This is one of the sites that I just covered recently. Here's Tyson Diniz's website right here for a couple of tractor conversions he did. Keep scrolling up. Here's another one from Tyson. Here's a ModHub link that was posted by BC Bueller Farms for a tractor he did. So yeah, and there won't be one in every single channel. Some of them are empty, but that's purely because this server just doesn't have a lot of modders. I believe there's 50 or some, and not all of them always have a project to post. So while it's a very small fragment of the modding community, it's still a very good place to go. And this place has over 5,000 members, so there's a large following, and I really do like what this server offers. There's helpful modders. There's a chat where modders can talk and be able to trade off ideas. There's a place for all the general players to talk and discuss things they're doing on their farm or things they're trying out. So it's a very welcoming community. Now let's move on to some of the other sites. We got just a couple more to cover. Okay, so really briefly, I'm going to cover a couple more sites that have Farming Simulator mods. First one is Nexus. Now, Nexus is not specifically for Farming Simulator, but there are a few people who are on here for Farming Simulator. You can actually search Farming Simulator as a game in here and figure out which mods are available. Not too many people, but there's enough that this site was worth mentioning. Next up is Modding-Welt. I believe this is a German website. However, I have it in English right now, so it is multilingual. You will need an account, but it's essentially an email and you create a password, so it's very simple. And there's a good number of mods here. I can't remember specifically what mods are worth mentioning, but many people recommend this. And even if you're doing North American farming, you aren't interested in the European side of things, some of the mods on here are still really good. I can't vouch for how well they've been done, which is the case for some of the other mod websites, but overall, very good mods. Same could be said for LSFarming, which is a German website as well. It's very similar to Modding-Welt, but I think it's just a different community. You will need to log in to get into this site to download some of the mods as well. And again, I can't remember mods that are worth mentioning from this site, but it's just another one to mention because enough people trust and use this site. I know North American players that use LSFarming and Modding-Welt and enjoy some of the mods just because they're so useful, more functionally than visually. I mean, obviously you don't have to have all big John Deere 8Rs with US flashers on a North American farm. So yeah, just some nice little mods here. Again, all up to you for discovering what's on these sites. And now we're going to get into some of the questionable sites. I've got two, King Mods right here, and Mod Network. Now, something very important to note about these sites is that they are not like the other ones I've covered so far. These are what I consider sketchy sites. Well, what do you mean by sketchy? Well, when I mean sketchy, I mean that some mods here are legitimate while others are not. In the case of King Mods, this site uploads ModHub mod links, so it links to ModHub mods with the proper link so that the author receives the credit and receives the benefit of the download. However, mods that don't come from the ModHub don't always get uploaded here with permission. And I wouldn't be able to tell you why the person who runs this site does it the way they do, but every mod, regardless of where it's found, is uploaded through a work upload link or some other third-party site that does not link to the direct modder. So with this site, what I recommend, if you don't find a KingMods link from an outside source, so let's say someone on Facebook posts a KingMods link, it's okay. But if you're just browsing the site and you find a mod, but you don't know if it was originally uploaded there or not, just don't download it, because for all you know, the mods here that don't really have a background that you can trace, they could be just broken or they mess up your save game. And that's a case for all of the sites that aren't going to be covered in this video, is that they're not uploaded with permission, so they're disrespecting the modder. They have the potential to break your save game because they're a third-party website, and who knows what viruses or malware they could upload. And in addition to that, I've had instances where those sites take my mods and upload them, and then I have to update because I find something that broke on the mod, or I want to update because I want to add something. And you're missing out on that if you go and download from the sites that do it illegitimately, because they don't bother updating. They just want the mods because they want ad revenue, and it's really about them just making a profit off of other people's work. KingMods is kind of borderline, and Mod Network is a similar story. So Mod Network went downhill towards the end of Farming Simulator 19, and currently it hosts mods for 22, 19, a couple other games as well. This is like KingMods. If a modder didn't link a Mod Network link on whatever community post or Discord server they're in, please don't download, because this site does not really care if you're the original author or not. They will post the mod regardless. And the worst part about it is that the people who post mods here will make money off of it. And since there's no regulation on if it's your mod or not, I could release a mod and someone could re-upload it to Mod Network and be making money for something that I did completely free. So just keep that in mind. If someone didn't link a Mod Network link and they aren't the original author, then just don't download it. With that said, that's all the links I have to cover. Not to leave off on a bad note, we're going to take a look at this Google Doc real quick. This is a document that I wrote back in December, I think. Yeah, December. And it's been updated a couple times, but basically what it is, it's this video condensed down into a 5-minute read. So, yeah, basically you can go through here and find most of the links that I talked about in this video. What are the trusted mod websites? Sketchy Mod Sites like Mod Network and KingMods we just talked about. Sites not to download from. This is what I was talking about those sites that illegitimately upload mods. So ModHub.us, FS19.net, all of these sites right here. We're going to go to one real quick. We are going to, well, actually, let's use an example. So recently, I got a Kloss Jaguar mod onto the ModHub, which that was super cool. I'm still kind of pumped about that. But you see here, I typed in the exact keyword because I know what the mod's called. And the first link I get is to farmingsimulator22mods.com. Now, looking back, that's not the ModHub's URL. The ModHub's URL is farming-simulator.com/mods. So what's this? Let's click. So this is definitely not where I uploaded it, because the only place I uploaded it to is the ModHub. What is this site? What this site has done is it uses bots to go to every known mod upload location on the internet. It brings all these mods in, uploads it to their site, copies in the description and everything, and makes it look like the modder has put it here. And I have my ad blocker on at the moment, so I'm going to turn it off real quick. We're going to reload the site. And if you look, there's an ad. There's an ad. There's an ad. So just 3 ads without scrolling even halfway down the page. They are essentially making ad revenue off of me just browsing through these mods, which don't even have permission to be here. Not only that, but like I said earlier, if there's an update to this mod, this site isn't going to catch it. Maybe they'll re-upload it, but if you just find the version 1, you won't get the full benefit of the mod that got updated. So there's a lot of benefits to going to the original site. So just keep that in mind. I hope this document can really help you figure out which sites are not meant to be downloaded from. And at the time of this video, I mean to update this Google document to include some of the stuff I'm going to cover in this video because time has passed since I last updated this, and to provide recent information and just make it as easy as possible, because there's nothing more important, to me at least, than making sure that you're downloading mods legitimately, doing your best to support the modder, because pretty much all the modders out there don't get a whole lot of compensation, and the least you can do is make sure that you're downloading respectfully. That's honestly a topic I could talk for a very long time about, but in the interest of time, this is where I'm going to leave this video. In the description, I will have all of these sites that you see here, in addition to the Discord server invite to the Farming Simulator Mods and Links Discord server. I will also put a few other things down there. I've got a list somewhere just to keep track of things. But make sure you check the description. I'm going to have some important information in there. And if you like what you see, you can drop a like. That would tell me that maybe I should make some other videos. This is the first time I'm making a YouTube video, so it's just kind of testing the waters to see what it's like. Maybe I'll do a couple more. I'm not going to get crazy about it, but I just want to make sure there's some good information for people out there. So if you stuck around all the way till the end, I really do appreciate you listening in. Have a great day, great week, great month, great year, whatever it is for you, and happy farming.